What it do, what it is, what it ain't. Thanks for listening to the latest episode of the Get Right Podcast. Don't forget to follow and subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify to get notifications of new content. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you dig? Cue the music. Yo, what it do, what it is, what it ain't. It's your boy T. It's the Get Right Podcast. Man, we are back celebrating National Women's Month as always, man. And I'm never rolling solo. I got the homies with me. I'm gonna start with the Brain Trust, who had us kicking off from Clubhouse, and now we on some major platforms doing our thing, man. Rod, what's them 3 words?
What up, though? Go blue.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And the people that love to hate the love. Formerly known as Mr. Misconception himself. Now he calls himself the Trigger Man. He got all these nicknames, man.
You ain't about to run through my whole intro.
I'm about to run through everything.
No, you ain't about to run through my whole intro, and I ain't got nothing to say. This man gonna go through my whole routine. Then what I'm gonna do? Repeat the same thing you just
All right,
said.
man. Tell the
Yo, it's your
people
boy DC in the place to be, aka the Trigger Man. Shout out to my '80s babies. Let's go.
Yes, sir. And to keep everything cordial so we can be nice and not get on each other, DC. But we got a dope guest.
You see this man already picking fights? Y'all see that, right?
Man, I'm messy. But we got a dope guest, man. Another dynamic young lady who's killing it in marketing and public relations. Is just amazing. We got the Miss Nicole Roland.
Hey,
What's up?
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited. Thank you.
Hey, we happy to have you. So we just gonna kick it off, man. Tell the people what you doing, where you at, where you from, all that good stuff.
Oh man, okay. So I'm Nicole Roland. I am born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. All my life, went to Detroit schools, Detroit churches. Always worked in the Metro Detroit area in marketing. I am currently the director of marketing at Gilly's, Clubhouse, and Rooftop, and also Saxy's. These spaces fall under the Rock umbrella. So Gilly's is the first sports bar under the Rock umbrella. So I lead the marketing and strategy for those venues.
Amazing. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you know before we went live, I'm pretty sure Rod asked you what side you from.
Hey, of course.
She already know.
Me and Rob was already there. I'm
Yep.
from the West Side, which
That's
is
right.
very necessary to say. As we discussed, Detroit
It's
is
necessary.
divided in the West Side and the East Side. Like you got the North Side, but it's typically West Side and East Side, and it's just two different worlds. Like it's not two bad worlds, but it's two different worlds and two different experiences. I was born and raised on the West Side. Grand River and Evergreen was where my sister and I grew up, and then we had a lot of family in the Schoolcraft 6 Mile, Wyoming area as well.
SC, Schoolcraft, baby.
Yep, we grew up on Mendota. My grandparents lived on Mendota. My godmother lived on Mendota. Back in the day, the 80s, early 90s, everybody on the block knew each other. So I literally was getting beat by 7 different houses up and down the block if we was doing something wrong. So I take pride.
Yeah, that's a community right there. Take a village.
And we were talking about that. Like I don't go back to Gen Z. Like I don't know if they have that community anymore because they don't go outside because they're not outside as much.
Nah.
So yeah, that was something really cool. And being from Detroit and being from the West Side of Detroit is something I take a lot of pride in.
Man, that's what's up. So, growing up in life, obviously you are a marketing guru, and I say that you can flex your muscle. We love like flexes here, or even major ones. I mean, doing a deep dive and following you, like I said, and following you. Like there are people who comment and make decisions, and then they say, "Well, let's talk to Nicole first and see how this makes the brand work and make it make sense." Right? Growing up in life as a kid, did you always look at things that way of how did this make a branding or marketing appearance, or whether you got dressed, putting that. We all did it. We laid that clothes out on the bed before the first day of school.
And now as an adult, you can look back and start to piece together why you did certain things or why you were a certain way. And I can say that growing up, I was always 2 things: an overthinker and a people pleaser. So when you're people pleasing, you have to figure out how to present yourself in a way that is pleasing to the people. You have to figure out how to position yourself in a way that is pleasing to the people. So I feel like almost innately growing up, and it kind of it sucks to be a people pleaser. Thank God I came out of that. But growing up, I feel like being that people pleaser kind of prepped me to know how to not only position myself in a way that's favorable to others and can get them to buy into something I want, but also kind of learning how to do that for different brands and different people and different companies. Like
Yeah.
before I really got into corporate marketing, I did marketing for a guy that was running for a state representative. Shout out Brandon Jessup. I did marketing for a hair salon and, stylists and like personal trainers, so it's knowing it was, I always, I guess, kind of knew how to market myself, and then I kind of transfer that over to others. And always an overthinker, which kind of sucked as well, because what happens when you overthink, you literally just kind of drive yourself crazy. So to quell that, I go to data, I go to facts. Like I'm online, I'm researching everything. I want to be a wealth of information on everything, which is also very much needed in marketing, because you constantly have to stay up to date on trends and events that are going to speak to the people, and figure out how you're going to space your brand or position your brand around those ideals to get people to buy into what you're looking into. Long-winded there, but I guess in a way, yeah, like I was always kind of a marketer. I was also always a big writer. Like that's kind of where things began for me. Was I just innate, like I just love to write. It was something that my aunt always tells a story that when I was 3 years old, like I was writing her letters. Like, so that's just
Oh,
always been
nice.
something that just comes natural to me. So when I went to school, when I went to Western, it was like, okay, I'm going to get my journalism degree. But what you find out when you're, coming out of college and you're looking for a job, journalists, at least at that time in 2009, maybe they was making $15,000 a year, maybe they was making $20,000 a year, and I was like, no, that's not what I want to do. So at that time, what Facebook came out in like 2005, 2007. I graduated Western in 2009. So at the time, Facebook was just bare bones, right? Only college students could get on it. But
Yeah.
I loved that connection piece of it. I loved being able to stay up to date. I loved learning more information about people. So I was just all about social media. Like, we had done MySpace, we had done Black Planet, we had done all those,
Shout
but
out Black
Facebook
Planet.
was a different kind of monster. So when businesses started using social media to reach more people, to get a wider reach and reach more people publicly, that was something I was deeply into. And then when Full Sail, when I was looking for like a master's program, or I think I was actually looking for a master's in marketing program, and coming across Full Sail, having that brand new internet marketing program, and it was, social media, it was search engine optimization, it was how to run paid ads, it was can spam and email laws and things, that was a full program, which was so dope. So jumping into that, like with the disciplines that I had, the loving the writing, the loving connecting with people, the loving the data, all of that, that just kind of segued into me getting into that program. And I remember my first professor there, he said, if you can master this program, if you can master these things, you will never have to look for a job again. He was like, in the next 10 to 15 years, internet marketing is going to take over the world, and you will always have a job. And he didn't tell one damn lie. And I said, like, and that's not even a light flex. That's just what it is. Like
Yep.
being
You ain't
able
miss.
to know those things at a time, like I said, back then, internet marketing, it was, people thought it was network marketing. People thought it was a scam, like SEO, like, you know what I mean? But now the value in it, and people contracting for it, and the salaries that people are paid to know these things, like it was really it was really a blessing that I ended up getting into it and kind of sticking with it as long as I have.
Now, do you find that internet marketing right now is more powerful because you almost, I mean, we talked about it earlier with the Gen Z being a little less connected to other humans. They're moving more to the social platforms, and hell, even the way we shop is, basically a social setting type of deal using the internet. Do you feel like that is the reason behind this wave of internet marketing getting so big, is because of the type of people that we've become?
I think so. And when you go back to kind of why, people like Zuckerberg, like why those social platforms were created. It was to connect. Like we all want to connect, and we're
Mm-hmm.
all nosy. Like we all want to know each other's business so we can compare it to our own lives and say, I'm doing good, I'm doing, you know what I mean? So I think, yeah, that was a catalyst for, like, companies had to meet their customers where they are, and they
Hmm.
were all online, you know what I mean? Like, so I definitely think that. I mean, I think, man, because every day there's so many new platforms coming out, and like we talked about earlier, like they each offer something new, they each speak to a different audience. My worry though is that people are going to forget the fact that in-person marketing, being able to have a conversation with someone, like we talked about, being able to even talking about things like collateral, like being able to hand someone a nice business card or a texture folder, like things like that still matter. And we don't talk about it as much. So I think, I mean, obviously, some companies have no choice. Like if they have an online business and they run their business online, you're obviously going to cater to who's online. But I think we forget also that there's so many other touch points, and sometimes literal touch points, that can also move an audience as well.
Amazing answer. And we like to tie these interviews into like real life scenario. So real life scenario, right? I'm sitting at this. I went to Little Caesars Arena a week ago. First time,
Hey,
by the way. It's great. Go Pistons. And I'm watching the
did they
game.
win?
They
They
did. It
won.
was won by 20. Yeah, I was
Okay.
very impressed. But there is one segment of every single basketball game that I go to that people go absolutely wild over, and it's these T-shirts.
I knew it.
It's just a random T-shirt, probably a cheap T-shirt too, like not something that you can't even wear. Maybe wear one time, put it in the washer, and it's gonna be a schmedium. But people go absolutely nuts over these T-shirts, and it's like, again, it's not just Pistons. Obviously, that's my team, so that's who I'm a rep. But every game I go to, everyone goes wild over these T-shirts or free hats or whatever the case may be. And you just mentioned something like there's still value in the notebook or the pen.
Yep.
Hell, I can't tell you how many pens I have collected around here from just different places. That is very interesting because I never even really thought about it. And when you said that, I'm like, damn, people still go wild over these T-shirts.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you just kind of mentioned that.
Yeah,
People like
and it's
the
free.
experience. Yeah, exactly. And it's free. People like the experience. And it's just like you mentioned a pen. Like, how many times do people walk around like, "Did you take my pen? You got my good pen?" Like, because they like
Mm-hmm.
how it feels. They like,
Mm-hmm.
they like how it feels when it writes. It's something that they can depend on. Like, so that's another thing. Experiential marketing is a thing now, and that's also, so it's that probably to me is the marketing aspect that I'm most interested in, and looking to build into right now, because giving people an experience, something that they can go back, because everything online now is like, it's kind of like post it and it kind of sits whatever. Giving people an opportunity to really experience your brand, your company in real time, like, is priceless, and if you do it the right way, it's unforgettable. So yeah.
How do you handle being in leadership, director? How do you handle with your team or yourself? Because we all got bruises to get to success. How do you handle a bad marketing ploy? That's something that just blows up in your face, or with
Oh man,
yourself or your team. If
with
you
grace.
instructed me to do something, I'm like, oh, this didn't work out.
Yeah, I mean,
This was a Kanye West moment. How
yeah,
do I get through
with
that?
grace. Full transparency, like, I've been in corporate marketing for about 13 years. I have done it all. I have seen it all. I've had the nervous breakdowns. I've I have been there. Like, I have been, I've worked on like multi-million dollar projects with crazy deadlines, and you're just like, I don't know if I could do this. Like, I'm just this one girl with this big title, and the title is always bigger than the role. I don't care who it is. They make these titles, right, sound like so, huge. And that's not to say you're
Yeah.
not doing the work for them, but they put so much prestige behind these titles. It's like it psychs yourself out sometimes. You're like, everybody is looking at me as this leader, or as this knower of all things. And if you can't be that in the moment, it's a lot, right? So I've gone through all that. I've done all that. So where I am now, and in my current role, I don't lead a team. I work with vendors and partners,
Mhm.
like creative partners. We do our own paid ads, we do our own social media, but it's more so partners. This specific role, I don't lead an in-house team. It's more so I lead a team of external partners. Previously in the past, I've led teams that had graphic designers, web designers, paid ads, project managers. So I say that to say I've had both experiences with leadership in that, right? And like I said, where I'm at in life now is to handle everything with grace. I'm not going to posture anymore. I'm not going to say something that I pretend that I know something that I didn't know. All I can do is try my best. All I can ask from my team is for them to try their best. All I can ask from the partners, and the partners I'm a little hard on because we pay them a lot of money, but they still also need to try their best. And trying your best is learning something new about whatever you're doing, staying up to date on trends so that if a client comes to you or you need to put out a strategy for a specific audience, you know, hey, this is what's going on with this target audience right now. Maybe we should tap into that. How can we organically align that with our brand so that it's a good marketing strategy, so that it's something that will mobilize people? And it's just, I mean, it's giving yourself grace. It's trying your hardest. I hold everyone to the same standard that I will hold myself. And if I'm trying my damn hardest, if I'm asking questions, if I put myself in the gap to find out new things, then I expect the same thing from my team as well.
So T brought up something, man. It got me thinking. So y'all may know, Ye has been making the news for all these crazy tweets, which
marketing.
I've been saying for years. It's marketing. He only goes quote unquote crazy when he's got something to sell. And oh, by the way, he did just drop an album over the weekend.
What?
So just what are your thoughts? Well, one, are you familiar with what I'm talking about? Ye kind of spazzing from time to time. All right. And my second thing is, what's your thoughts on that marketing strategy? Because he doesn't do a rollout. He doesn't really do interviews. He just says something crazy and then he puts out music.
What
or
you say,
he puts out a
DC?
pair
He's
of shoes or
conveniently.
whatever.
You call him conveniently crazy?
Yeah, he's conveniently crazy. Yeah.
Crazy as well. So I don't think I've taken Kanye seriously since graduation, which was in college. So
Talk that talk.
like when people are like, "Oh, 808s and heartbreaks," so I guess like I haven't listened to Kanye for I haven't taken outside of some dope features he's done. Like he's done some really dope features. I would say 10 years ago, but I don't really.
Is it the music or the antics as to why you haven't been listening to him?
It's the antics.
Yeah.
It's the antics. And it's also the music. Like so 808s and Heartbreaks was more that synthesized, like 80s kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Whereas before the production was it was deeper tones. Like
soulful samples.
It was more hip hop. Exactly. It was more soulful. And that's my vibe all day long. So I think he changed up his strategy and just, as a fan of music, as a fan of hip hop, it was just like, okay, I don't rock with that as much. But that never took away from his artistry. That never took away from his talent. So I always respected him until he just, I don't know what it was. And obviously you can't speak to anybody's personal life, but it just seemed like after he lost his mom, he worked hard to seem like he was okay when he really wasn't. And watching that Netflix movie about him and seeing how his mom was like his source of so much, it was like, how can you be okay? Yeah. And like, I think he's like, he married a damn Kardashian. You thrust yourself even further into the spotlight. You force yourself up on this higher pedestal because they're on such a high pedestal. Like, I feel like bro is just running on this hamster wheel and it is just driving him crazy. So part of me, I side eye him, like, why would you say some dumb shit like that? But part of me that, understands, like I said, mental health, something is really wrong there. And nobody in his camp, nobody in his court is doing anything about it. But the other thing is, I don't think he's going to allow anyone to do
that part.
Who's going to step in and say, wait a minute, Kanye? So I don't know. I'm a Libra, so I go back and forth.
Libra gang.
Yeah. Hey. I see both sides. Like, I
gotta balance it out.
But I also I think he's a genius. I don't think he's a dummy. So I agree with conveniently crazy.
Yeah, use that at work in the next meeting.
Yeah, we can't say that word anymore.
We can't say crazy.
Wild.
It's like
Wild.
that list of people that he put out that he wasn't like. It's like what all his people do to you,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
like what
Hey,
Well,
no,
well, the thing about Kanye and Ye, whichever one he wants to be, when he became Ye, he's definitely on a completely different level of just outbursts. But part of it is marketing, and part of it is ego has taken over with hurt, and hurt people hurt people. You
oof,
know, that's what I think it is. He expects people to be in his corner, to what Nicole just said, the way his mother was in his corner, right? When you have something that's been your source and your rock for so long, and you lose it, and you go around trying to find it in other people, you're never going to find it in other people, because people have to do what's best for them, and he can't handle it. So he
yeah,
spews these crazy things. Like, I think one of the things I seen in one of those tweets is, one, he did say he was the reason for his mother not being alive, and he feels if he wouldn't have made it, it's almost like the survivor's remorse. If I wouldn't have made it, she wouldn't have even been in that position. But that was deleted.
Wow.
But then there was multiple different tweets where he revealed that basically, I thought these people would be there for me, right? And
yeah,
seeing Kendrick at the Super Bowl was hurtful, because, Jay, why wouldn't you put me at the Super Bowl?
yeah,
Well, one, Kanye, you're doing stuff like this, but
Right.
um, two, there are different scenarios that Kanye has done what he's accusing others of doing to others, right? There's many times he's taken people off the album that should have been on the album. Andre Three Stacks wasn't on Donda initially until it got leaked by Drake, right? All
Hmm.
of a sudden he's back on there. He took Jay off the album at one point, put it back on. He took there's countless versions of different music that didn't make it to the day of light, that you look back and be like, man, that was a dope verse. How did that not make it? So now someone's not putting him on, but they put Kendrick instead. That's a lack of loyalty now.
yeah,
Oh, Dame had faith in you, and he's the one that put you out. But I didn't roll with Dame when Dame and Jay split up. I had to stay with Jay. But Jay, I was loyal to you. Why are you not loyal to me? Why didn't you show up to my wedding while you're being accused, or not even being accused, got caught cheating on your wife, and now y'all in a situation and you trying to fix that? I can't be at no Kardashian wedding. I'm gonna burn
right,
down with my house. You know what I mean? But
Right.
in Ye's mind, he can't understand that. And this is me just kind of putting it
yeah,
all together. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. He is mentally, they say there's a thin line between genius and crazy. And I do
yes,
believe that.
yes,
I
I agree,
do believe that.
I agree.
So I think that's him just not being able to process. Part of it is it could be a mental illness, if that's what you want to call it, but a lot of it is ego and not being able to process. So now he's just trying to be so radioactive that nobody wants to work with him.
Can you imagine how frustrating that is? Like to think you are like a god, and but no one like, but you can't get other people like to
to
grasp
believe that.
onto that like
Yeah.
you wanted to. You're like, look at me, like I'm right. Like
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy.
it
That's
sucks.
another question to stick to the marketing thing real quick. Right. What's one thing in your career of marketing where, and it doesn't even have to be with you, where you saw it on TV, online, with the internet? We know that's the big thing. What's one thing that you say like this company or this entity didn't miss? What a marketing. You was like, damn, they didn't miss. They got the
Man,
shit right.
you know who I love? I love them and hate them at the same goddamn time because
All right, let's talk about it.
progressive insurance.
Mm.
I have
Okay.
progressive. I was
Hmm.
recently in a car accident.
I got
And
progressive too.
I
these
just switched to progressive, like literally like a
Here we
couple
go.
days ago.
I've had progressive for a while, so I'm in.
man,
I'm a
Okay,
dime
so
oh
diamond
man.
level.
So I got in a car accident recently, and they just very they just it wasn't great. Like just the support, they just was dragging their feet on everything. They put us with a
Mm-hmm.
representative that just it was he was new, I guess, and he it was just a mess. So insurance and progressive insurance, and probably insurance in general. I think car insurance is a scam, but
Mm-hmm.
we can just
mm,
Agreed.
my anger is directed at progressive in this particular moment. However, when it comes to their marketing, oh my God, I am all in. So you know they've got a couple different ones. They've got the one where is that you know what? Is that progressive?
Progressive is one with flow.
But then there isn't what's the one where they're afraid of turning into their parents. You know what I'm
I
talking
think that's
about?
progressive. I
Yeah.
think that's
Is that one
progressive.
progressive too?
I
I
think
think
it's
that is
progressive.
progressive.
Yeah.
I think that's progressive. See, that's what I mean. They got two different, and that's what I like about them. It's two different, completely different marketing strategies. But
And I think they got the emo too. The emu. The
no, that's
Nah,
evil
Emu.
that's
emu.
that's Liberty.
That's
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 Liberty.
another
Liberty.
one.
Yeah, that's right.
Insurance
Yeah.
in general. You know what? Let's not even put it just on progressive. Insurance in general, their marketing is top notch. Because even
Hmm.
the Emu, I love him. It's it's the creativity, it's understanding people's psychological thoughts and their behaviors. So like
Mm.
I'll be 40 this year, right? So I'm wondering, I'm looking at my dad every day like, dang, I don't want to turn into you. Like you get up at 3 p.m. every day. You be outside talking to the neighbors about trash cans. Like I don't know. And that's a real fear to me. Like I love my dad, but it's like I gotta stay young. So the fact that a brand like Progressive understands those fears and those thoughts in someone's mind and is able to capitalize off of it by aligning it with their brand, it's cool. Because I mean, those commercials are brand commercials. Like, you know, those are things that are going to make us remember them. And I think they do. It's not going to be immediate sales. Like I'm not immediately picking up my phone and signing up for that insurance company because, you know, it made me laugh, but it's something that I'm going to remember. So I think insurance companies do a really good job in understanding people's thoughts, behaviors, their fears,
Hmm.
and being able to translate that into something that can increase brand awareness and increase
Yeah.
reach. So I like, even like you said, DC, even Limu to Ibu. I love Limu to Ibu. Like
Yeah.
I think insurance companies that they get it.
Man, that's what's up. You went through journalism, right? Shout out to Broncos. We talk
Hey,
about someone who's a genius, could be crazy. Antonio Brown. I think he went to
oh,
Western Michigan, didn't he?
Central.
Oh, he went to
he went
Central.
to my sister went to
Okay.
Central. Okay, he went to what? Okay.
Okay. But if you weren't doing marketing, what would you be doing? Where'd you see yourself?
You know what I really wanted to do? I really wanted to write for hip hop magazines. Like that was where I thought my
Shout
life
out Word
would.
Up.
Yeah, like I
That was
thought
my
that was where
jam.
my life was gonna end up. And
He was
when, like
not
I said,
reading
when I
word up.
graduated from
I was reading Word. All right,
Bro, you was like 11 years old, bro. You was not reading Word Up
Word Up
magazine, bro.
magazine, bro. Word Up magazine was
You
out,
was
bro. Cause you used to get the you used
yeah,
to
when
get
you was
the
11, you was not no, you was on the
bro,
slide, you was at the playground playing
bro.
hopscotch and hide and seek
Word
and
Up
shit.
magazine,
You
bro.
was not
You
reading
can
Word Up.
just cut out. You can cut out a photo of like your favorite artist and put it on the wall, bro. And
Bro,
Jet
you ain't have
magazine.
none of that.
But as a kid, Jet magazine. As a guy, we just looked at page 43. Just
I
keep
thought
it
we
Dog,
had
going.
you
pages.
remember the page number?
Right.
Bro, the Jet Beauty
Yo,
of the Week, bro. And if you listen to hip hop, every rapper talked about it in that time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be with page 43. It's the Beauty of the Week. Bro, come on.
Man, it said page
That was what I
43,
wanted to
dog.
do. That was where I thought life was gonna take me. I have a deep love and appreciation for music, specifically hip hop
hmm
music. And like I said, I love to write. So after, like I said, I graduated from Western in 2009. I came back home. I tried to once I realized that there was no real money in professional journalism and like writing for
mm,
newspapers. I was like, okay, that was when I was kind of transitioning into figuring out what I was going to do with marketing. But at the same time, I was like, I don't want to give up my love for writing. I don't want to give up my love for
Yeah.
music. So I was writing for a couple local hip hop magazines and blogs, and just going out to different like open mics and meeting the artists and doing interviews and yada yada yada, which was dope, you know. But I mean, there was no money in that either. Like
mm,
someone that I really kind of looked at was Karen Civil, like in her trajectory throughout her career and how she worked with Nipsey, obviously, and YG and Wayne and
hmm
the Source, and like that was in a perfect world. That was being like a hip hop journalist. That's something that I
Mm.
aspired to be. But I ended up
Source.
shout out to the source. That was my
You
favorite magazine.
that same Word Up Source. I'm gonna hit you with the music because you are a huge hip hop head. I see you post every day. You're posting music all day, every day, along with your marketing plans.
hey,
What is your 5 mic album?
my Who album?
5 mics.
Five
Talking about the
mics.
Oh,
source. What is your 5 mic
oh,
album?
like the Source.
And you can name more than one.
Yeah, we Grace. You work with Grace. We'll give you Grace.
Probably, man.
AT Aliens. You can go ahead and say AT Aliens.
You know what? So
I'm trying not to twist her arm, DC.
no, this wasn't in the. This is. I'm a Libra. This is too much to say. This was not in the list of questions. You because there.
There's
Yeah,
a lot of them.
that's
Okay,
tough to put on the spot.
We gonna go. We jumping around. Okay. I got to name a couple different ones. This is so unfair.
Hey,
So
that's
I'm gonna
life.
go Jay-Z, The
Okay.
Dynasty, Rock La Familia.
Okay.
That's
Interesting.
end to end. Dang,
Huh.
I'm gonna just name a bunch of Jay-Z and Tupac. Come back to me.
Bet.
Rock
I
La
don't know.
Familia, huh?
That was a dope album.
Five
I don't
Mike
know.
dope.
I don't know.
So we would put that up there with Black Album or Blueprint.
Blueprint one.
Yeah,
Mhm.
of course, not the other two.
You know what, when I think about that album, I was 16, it was 2001, and that was just the
Mhm.
album that I literally listened to from beginning to end. So when I think about that, it's more so I guess my life experience at that time and
Mhm.
like why it's just like that was like the height of things for me. But as far as like production and artistry, I don't know. Don't put me on the spot with that. Don't put me
I
on
mean,
the
Jay
spot.
Z definitely has a few Five Mike albums. I'd say at least three. You know
That's
what I'm
why
saying? You
his
got to go Reasonable Doubt. You got to
that's
say Blueprint.
yeah
You got to say Black
Black
Album.
Album,
Those are
but
undisputable Five Mics. Fight me.
that's it. But
The
I
others,
will fight you.
that's and
Okay.
that's what makes Jay, like you always say. Well, I'm not gonna say always, but a lot of people say quite frequently that Jay was never on top, while others
I
were
said
eating
that.
on his watch. Yeah, you say it.
What did they say?
Yeah.
What?
They say Jay was never on top. Like there's a lot of people that ate in Jay's time, so he was never the top guy. But Jay was always relevant, and Jay is your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, right? Unless you're like Big Gip, you know what I mean? Whatever. If that's your favorite rapper, then good for you. But Big Gip hates Jay Z for whatever reason.
Why?
Um, no
I
clue.
didn't know that.
I think it's just regional bias. He
Yeah,
just
When did they
hates New
ever cross
York.
paths? Like when did they ever like?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Nah,
yeah.
I think it's more just a New York thing. He just because you got to understand, Gip came from the era where the South was looked down upon
Mm.
in hip hop circles. It's not like it is now where the South really runs hip hop. So he came up in a time where he watched Andre. He was probably at the Source Awards when Outkast won, I think Best New Actor or something. They got booed,
And it
and
says South
Sax
got
was
something
like,
to say.
yeah, he was there, and I think he's just always been a little bit jaded by that.
Yeah.
So and I think
So,
Jay Z just represents New York for him, so he just hates Jay Z.
but you just named five or three at least, five Mike albums that Jay Z has. There's not a lot of people that you can name that had five Mike albums.
No, ain't too
So
many.
that's why Jay has to be considered one of the best. Again, if he's your GOAT or not, you gotta at least respect that he's up there and should be worthy of that conversation.
Yeah, I don't think there's any credible argument to leave him out.
Yeah.
Like, whether or not he's your favorite, like, just objectively as a objective hip hop fan, you can't leave him out of the convo. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just
Yeah.
not credible.
I see you. Your wheels is turning over there, Nicole.
I'm still back on. I'm still on the five mic. I have literally had 10 different albums rolling around in my head. I can't pick.
Yeah, it's hard to narrow it down to one. Don't let them peer pressure you.
Yeah, I
They
can't
keep
pick.
trying to narrow it down.
Yeah.
I'm literally sitting here thinking about like albums that I could literally listen to from beginning to end, or that just
That's like trying to pick your favorite album or favorite song. Like somebody asked me what's your favorite song. I'm like, I can't. There's
No,
too many
that's just
I
not
know.
different
possible.
genres.
I know my favorite song.
You know your
Okay.
favorite
What's
song?
your favorite
favorite
song?
song?
It's Tupac, Keep Your Head Up.
Okay.
Huh.
But I don't. If you ask me to give you a full,
Yeah, I can't narrow it down to one
Yeah.
favorite
Okay. So
song.
put
Not
it
at
like
all.
this.
I'm not even gonna try.
Let's go back because we OGs. We unks and aunties out here now.
hey,
If you was on a road trip, what 5 albums you taking? So that's easy.
this was not in the damn.
I will say that is something that you do have to kind of
When you
think
think
about,
about it,
man.
we'll
That
come
ain't,
back to it.
yeah,
We'll
that
come
ain't
back to
like
it.
Okay,
because
okay,
then nobody
okay.
just sitting there thinking about if I'm on a road trip.
Snoop Dogg, The Last Meal.
Oh, fire,
Um,
fire.
is it? I also listen to a lot of like old school like shit. My obviously my parents and my
Yeah, no doubt.
grandparents used to listen to.
Shout out to the
Um,
'80s
huh?
Yeah,
and
shout out to
beyond.
the 80s.
Which even before that shit, the 70s. Just I don't know. Come back.
You
to
know,
me.
random. You know, the kids like Gen Z, for example, they refer to the '80s as the 1900s. They don't call it
Stop.
the '80s.
Stop.
They call it the 1900s. They're like, "Oh, you were born in the 1900s." I'll whoop your little ass. Shut the hell up.
I know, right? And I saw a post. I saw a post where somebody was like, "Yeah, my son asked me, well, did I cry during slavery?" He's like, little. It's like it's like little ninja. I was born
Yeah.
in 1995. What are you
Like
talking
you
about?
gotta look like, do I look like a slave? Do I look like just like
Yo.
Oh
look at me.
man,
That's
man.
foul.
So
That's
all right,
foul.
Kids are hell.
Yes.
I'll get back to the list. So you seen you were prepared for this list of questions we had for you.
Yeah, I look.
I'm with
I
you,
did
Nicole. Libra
Hey,
gang. I'm
Real,
the same
yeah.
way.
I did
I'm
Hey,
some
with
rap.
you.
before we get back to the list, I noticed you got Tupac in the back, a book of Tupac. I
I saw
noticed you
that.
said "Keep Your Head Up" is your favorite song of all time. Obviously, you are deep rooted in hip hop. So before we leave this hip hop subject, I have to ask you, what are your thoughts on where hip hop is today, as we sit today?
I think it's going back underground. Like I
Mm,
don't think that there are any mainstream hip hop artists anymore. I think we got a lot of cool rap artists, but when I think hip hop, I think storytelling. I think meaning. I think substance. And I feel like what we have now is a lot of personality rappers. I feel like we got a lot of brag rap, and it don't mean nothing. It means absolutely positively nothing. So you have some artists, some more underground artists that I don't even know if they, I don't even know if you would consider them art underground. Like, would y'all consider Freddie Gibbs underground or more mainstream? Would
He's
y'all?
mainstream
so
now,
he's
but he's been
I
underground
don't
up
know if
until like
he's
maybe 2 years ago.
I don't know if he's
Griselda
full
is more
mainstream.
mainstream now, but
Yeah.
when you think when I think mainstream, I think
Mm.
would a West Side Gun ever get to the level of like a Drake?
No.
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 So
No.
that's what I mean. I mean, it's I just
So would you put Kendrick in that category? Because Kendrick kind of is
yes,
both.
yes.
He can play the underground. He's never going to be the club guy. He's never going to be that.
Well, I mean,
Drake's
I
gonna
think not like
Drake's
us
gonna
begs
always
to differ though.
Yeah, but I say he
but
can
that's one
now.
track. Like Drake
Swimming
lives in the
pools.
club.
Swimming
Swimming
pools in the
pool.
club.
You think so? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
oh, swimming
I don't
pools
Definitely.
was
remember
in the
that.
That was
club.
bro. That was in the
The
club,
drinks
bro.
was
It
flowing,
Yeah.
bro. The
was
drinks
Yeah.
about
was
drinking.
flowing.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
walls could talk, that was in the club too.
That was
But
definitely
I
in the
do
club.
consider I do consider Kendrick hip hop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
J. Cole is hip hop.
So, question: what is the difference between rap and hip hop then?
Hip hop to me is storytelling. Hip hop to me is like I said, when you and I say this going back to the original origins of
Yeah.
hip hop, and maybe I'm kind of dated on that in my mind, but to me, I kind of stick to the original values of it. Like
Mm.
it had meaning. There was something behind, and like now, and it's obviously transitioned over the years. Like this didn't happen overnight, but I feel like now it's just rap. Like it's not we're not talking about nothing. Like we're
So.
talking about I got this car, I've done that,
Hmm.
I fucked this bitch, I da 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 da, and
Hmm.
it means absolutely positively nothing to me.
Mm.
I
So
can't
I will.
connect with it because you're literally just trying to sell me an aspirational lifestyle that anybody can have. Like it's just I don't know.
Mm.
So, and I know I have to jump off, so I know you all gonna bring this home. But DC, I would say rap is almost like a sub under hip hop, right? Some people can rap very nicely, right? Drake is a person that raps very nicely. And bad example. I'm not gonna even say Drake, but there's no true levels to it. Like I'm not gonna use Drake because that's a bad example. But
Drake is
there
a
are
very good
people
example, I think.
there's people that just don't have levels to what they can operate under. Like you, again, your favorite artist, man, Nas. Nas
Yeah.
is hip hop, bro. Like Nas can give you so many different types of messages. He stands for something. There's different he can make the girl song, he can make the deep song, he can make the storytelling song. Shit, he made a song about a backwards day, you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
Amazing.
not many people can do that, you know what I mean? So it's all encompassing to me. Like it's lyricism, it's storytelling, it's being able to do all of those things. And I think my guy G Malone, Glasses Malone, said it best, man. It's street urban culture, dog. That's what it comes down to. And what happened after Soldier Boy, unfortunately, a lot of people were open up to be able to do this thing called hip hop without having that street urban culture. And that's where I think the difference is. But that's my take on it.
I like that breakdown.
Yeah, man. Well
Yeah,
put, bro.
yeah, I feel you. I honestly, I look at hip hop and rap as one and the same, and because here's the thing: one, I think it's alive and well. I just think that hip hop, rap as a whole, it's a young man's sport, young person's sport. So
Facts.
like a lot of the things that we say is like, oh, they not talk about nothing, woo woo woo. That's just because we've heard it all. We've been there and done that. We're now in our 40s.
Well,
We're
DC,
moving on to other things.
wait, hold on, real quick, and I'm gonna let you finish. Kanye moment. I'm gonna let you finish.
That was when he was starting to
But
go crazy. That's when we
yeah,
should have started to figure it out.
exactly. But you can't tell me you've listened to some of these songs, some of these rap songs. Maybe you're a bad example because you thought that I don't drink liquor, I sip lean is
Yeah.
a dope bar. So
I was waiting on
you
that.
know what? Let me stop.
But that was a bar, and y'all
No,
gotta
it's
y'all
not.
gotta admit, because Rod, you said I know you about to go,
No, it's
but you
not.
told me you was somewhere, and like they cut the music off, and everybody you saw it on TV or
Yeah.
something, and people was going crazy over the bar. Here's the thing though, the bars, a bar doesn't have to be a bar because it's super lyrical. Bars just hit. And
Mhm.
that hit could be a lot of different things. It could be a triple entendre. It could just be something that just sounds cool. It's a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? So that shit was a bar. But I will say this: storytelling is still here. You know what I'm saying? It's just that again, the stories that are being told, they're just not that relevant to us anymore. So you got to figure. I'll use King
Mhm.
Von as an example. Y'all know King
King Von
Von.
is a storyteller. King Von is a storyteller.
There we go. King Von is a storyteller. It's
But
violent.
he's an anomaly in in that generation.
I see. I would disagree because
Mm.
Tyler the Creator might be a little bit older, but I would kind of lump them all into that same generation.
Yeah.
Tyler is a storyteller. Corday used to be YBN Corday. He's a storyteller.
Yeah.
Um, Tease Man Simba storyteller. I think he maybe went gold. He wasn't super big, but they're still storytelling. It's just that the stories they're not for us, as in our age group. That's why
Mm.
one thing I feel like hip hop does need is, and I've been saying this for the longest, they need an actual adult contemporary hip hop genre, kind of like R&B. You got Chris Brown R&B, and you got Aretha Franklin R&B. They are both R&B, but they are vastly different. Like Nas, for example, like say for the Grammys, Nas should not be competing for the same Grammy as Tyler the Creator. They are two completely different type of rappers. You know what I'm saying? They have completely different demographics. They have different audiences. They make different kinds of music, but there is no subcategory. Like you have like in the Grammys, you have best adult contemporary R&B album. You have best what do they call it? Like classic R&B or soulful R&B. They have all these different subgenres where you can win best R&B album of the year. But with hip hop, it's just best rap album. Lump it all together. And it shouldn't be that way. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing that I would say. I think that hip hop is alive and well. It's just for the kids. Like for example, Boy Cardi just dropped the album "I Am Music." The kids love it. I listened to a few tracks. It's not necessarily for me, but beats is crazy. I will say that man could pick a beat. I don't know if he makes the beats or what, but them beats be hitting. Now, what is he talking about? I have
I
no
don't know.
idea. But he's not talking to me. You know what I'm saying? He's not talking to a 42-year-old man. He's talking to a 16-year-old kid. You know what I'm saying? And I shouldn't be speaking the same language as a 16-year-old. So I don't know. That's kind of how
Mm.
Lil Wayne. I would say Lil Wayne's hip hop. He's not really a storyteller, but that man is hip hop. You know what I'm saying? That's how I kind of look. I put it all together,
I
man.
feel
I
you.
just feel like they should break it down by the age because we just mature as we age and we've just seen more. Nicole, you've seen more. You've been outside. You have more experiences. So the stories that these little kids are telling, you've heard it 1,000 times before. Not because it's old and dated, but because you've got the experience that these kids don't have.
That's a
Like think
dope.
about like I don't even really get excited for music anymore. I'm kind of with you, Nicole. Like I love hip hop. I can talk about this for hours on end. You know, we can like even off camera, we can just keep going and going and going and going and going. And I think that the biggest difference though it is when's the last time you've been excited for an album? Like when such and such drop, you're like, oh
Good
my
question.
gosh. I can't recall. It's just and it's not because there's not great music. We talk about Freddie Gibbs. Freddie Gibbs drops a classic damn near every time he comes out. But and as great and as much as I love it, I don't get excited because I'm just older now. I got other shit to deal with. You know what I'm saying? But when I'm a kid, everything is new to me. I'm still figuring it out. I don't even know how my body works exactly. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how my mind is not even fully developed yet. I'm still in high school. I'm dealing with these insecurities. I'm dealing with everything is still new to me.
Yeah.
So when this new album drops, that's life. I'm reading the credits. I'm opening up the book. Blueprint. We talk about Blueprint. I'm reading the book. I'm reading who was behind the boards. I'm not doing that shit anymore. I don't care. I don't care who's behind the boards anymore.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Isn't that sad? That was such an awesome time.
What a time to be
It
alive.
was. That's
Yeah.
just youth.
Yeah, I
It's
feel you.
youth.
I feel
You
you.
know, it's a season. It's a great season. I don't want to go back,
Bring back
but
TV books.
it was great.
Speaking of that time, right? What a time to be alive and all that. We've chatted via like direct messages, or I'll comment on your posts because you are a hard worker, and I commend you for that. So shout out to you.
Thank you.
But how the hell do you take time to slow down? Because I ain't been the only person. People like, yo, slow your ass down. Like, sit your ass down and go chill, relax, put your feet up. Like, what do you do to create that downtime for yourself and separate yourself from the grind of marketing to the personal time for Nicole? And I'm gonna call you out because I even had chatted with you. You was like, yeah, I'm at work right now. So I'm not supposed to be. I'm like, yo,
I'm at work right now. You know what? This is an unpopular answer. I spent a very long time not working as hard as I possibly could.
mm,
And just, I don't want to say coasting, but not reaching my full potential. And again, I'm a very big mental health and mental wellness advocate. And I spent COVID and some time after COVID, like, mental, it was a lot. Like
yeah,
I went through some experience. So, but even then, like I was working. Like when I'm going through something, I'm working because I can throw myself into it and think about that. And now coming out of kind of going through something, um, I feel like I'm in a space to reach my greatest potential. So even when I sit down at night, I'm like, let me turn on my show. My mind is still going to like marketing, but I love it. Like because I'm so passionate about it. I am planning a vacation and I'm going to leave my computer at home.
good.
Um, but I'm not, I say that to say I'm going because I feel like I have a lot to accomplish. I also have the pleasure of spending a lot of time with my parents. So they keep me grounded. They take me out of myself or out of, this Nicole Roland, director of marketing persona or whatever it is. So those are my quiet moments as well. Like I agree with you 1,000%. Like we have to slow down. We have to take care of ourselves, and I do that. Like I go to the gym, I work out. Um, but it's just I'm in this mode right now that it's like go, like it's go time. Like let's go, and I'm super dialed into that. Like even when I try to
Good.
relax, I'm like still kind of super dialed into that. But it doesn't feel strenuous on me. It doesn't feel heavy on me. It feels like you're passionate about what you're doing, so keep doing it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So you find a way to find a balance within the balance.
You know what? And that's also funny. Like being a Libra, I always thought there always has to be balance. Like I'm looking for this work life balance. I'm looking for this love work balance. I'm looking for And what I'm learning is that when you're passionate about something, it's very hard to have balance. Like
Yeah.
it's very hard to have balance.
That's true.
Like I said, because even when I'm sitting at home trying to have quiet time, like, all right, I worked 8 hours today. The least I could do is chill for 8 hours, sleep at night, watch my little show, whatever. And I'm looking at Netflix and I'm like, now why did they use that branding on that screne? Like, why? Wow, that is ugly font. Like, is that gonna touch their audience? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so the one day there will be some type of semi balance, but right now is just right now I'm real passionate about what I got going on. So a lot of my effort is pushed towards that.
Man, if you had to do, and I hear you when you see like font and word, and I'm pretty sure a lot of those things drive you crazy. If there was a company, and nope, we're not taking away from Gillies, so Gillies don't come from us. But if what project would you enjoy working on? Would it be with Netflix or something, or a TV show or whatever? Like, you know what, I would love to do that. Wherever you sat
Um,
down on the couch, it was like, oh, I love to do that.
like I told you, like when I pick up a magazine, and I see a journalist or a reporter or a personality really having the time to sit down with someone, do an interview, and kind of detail and descript the entire interview. Like I just love details. I love descriptions. I love the power of words to be able to make you feel like you're in a moment, and to fill those types of spaces. So It would definitely be like working for some type of magazine or working for not a newspaper. They don't make enough money, but it's some type of brand that would allow me to go out and interview people. I really like Dove. Dove has always been really diversity focused and really DEI focused, and more so Procter and Gamble, I'll say. So that's a company that coming up I always looked at, and I always thought that would be cool to work for them as well. So it would either be like some type of magazine, or I think Dove and Procter and Gamble are dope brands as well.
All right, I got one last question because you just hit on it, and I was gonna ask you that. I mean, you talk about Dove, P&G, Procter and Gamble, DEI. DEI has been a hot button topic in the discussion. We've even talked about it, just us three, on in a few episodes ago. What's your take on, like, I guess, companies' decisions being made with DEI in this realm, and do you feel it affects you, your day to day?
I feel like from a marketing perspective, it's suicide in a way, because like when you DI in itself, like there's so many different nuances of it. People don't even understand what's being taken away until they're standing in front of the thing that's being taken away from them.
Yeah.
So I think for brands like Target to say we're, or Walmart to say we're no longer supporting that, like that's more so just hurting your brand, because people are just gonna diversity. Who Pete? What's his name that ran for president? Buttigieg
Oh,
or Buttigieg
yeah,
or
Mayor
whatever.
Pete.
I was listening to him on Instagram a couple of days ago, and he was like, "What's the opposite of diversity, equity, and inclusion? Inequity and exclusion." And who wants to live in a world like that? And when you say your brand is taking away DEI, you're immediately promoting that that uniformity, that inequity, that exclusion. And who are the first people to always get excluded from shit? Black people, brown people. Like, so I just think from a marketing perspective and from a brand perspective, it's a poor decision to make. On my end, I am often the only person that looks like me in the spaces that I'm in, and black men non-existent. That I can count on one hand in the 10 plus years I've been in corporate the times that I've sat around from a black male director. Um, so my goal and what I've always strived to do was get people like us in the door, into the space that I'm in. And like I said, I don't consider myself someone that's just at this height of whatever it is, but I'm in a position to make decisions. So when I'm looking for vendors for Gillies, I'm gonna look black owned vendors first.
Okay.
When I'm looking at resumes, I'm gonna say, oh, I'm looking at experiences. Obviously, we don't hire based on color, race, whatever, but it's important to make sure that qualified people that look like us are in the building at all times, because our perspective is different. Specifically for a place like Gillies, because it's located in downtown Detroit, where Detroit is what's the percentage of black people in Detroit? We're the
Like
majority,
80,
right?
80 plus
So
percent.
yeah,
Last time
so
I,
it's important that you have people in those spaces that know, and that have a perspective different from that of the face of corporate marketing, which doesn't always look like us. So DEI is really important to me. It's something that, as I've kind of um, wielded my personal brand over these past couple of years, is something that I've tried to include as well. I think it's suicide for brands to remove DEI from their policies, and I think that they are taking the hit as a result of it.
that's
It's
yeah.
deep.
It's don't know you passionate about it. I can hear it in your voice. I hear it in your
Yeah.
tone. I've seen you post multiple times about it, and that's why I wanted to ask you that question because you stand on business when it comes to that. I'm gonna keep it a little light because I don't want you to get heavy on me. But I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna throw a bunch of questions at you real fast. You say no comment,
Okay.
or you can give us a straight answer. Marketing standpoint, who would you rather market, Barry Sanders or Calvin Johnson? Them Lions
That's
greats
a
right
good
there.
one.
I'm assuming that Barry Sanders is still playing.
I
So
mean,
just a
Barry
retired
Sanders.
Barry Sanders.
That's a good question. Didn't think about it that way.
I
But if they
mean,
both were playing, who would you market?
where Barry Sanders is now, though, is a pretty cool position as well, because all the shine that he's getting. I mean, even the current Lions winning, like he's getting a lot of shine from that for what he did back in the day for the old
Yeah,
Lions.
you see it.
He
Yeah,
had the Amazon Prime movie that just came out. Like Barry Sanders ain't doing bad either. You know what though, Calvin Johnson. I don't know what Barry Sanders does from a philanthropic perspective. I'm sure he does something. But Gilly's has worked closely with Calvin Johnson before. He's done a lot of dope stuff for us, so I know kind of the ins and outs of how he works and all the awesome stuff that he does. So I'm gonna say Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, I know. I seen all the photo ops. Man, bro, she kind of a big deal, DC. So I seen all the photo ops. You out here. All right. Let's throw it this way. Current Piston, former Piston. Got Cade or Isaiah?
Isaiah had them dope ass chocolate bars back in the day. You know, and I post at least one time a year on Facebook about them damn chocolate bars because I would market him just so that they can bring them damn chocolate bars back. I don't know why they took them away, but this is the best candy bar that I've ever had. I forgot what it was called. I feel like it was called like the Slam Dunk or something, but I'm gonna go with Isaiah strictly because he was a bad boy and I liked his chocolate bar.
There it is. There it is. And one last thing. Being a woman in the corporate world, the business world, everything, you can walk in rooms. You have a crazy presence about yourself. Do you feel that a lot of guys are intimidated to approach you? And how do you handle that?
I don't even think about it, to be honest. Like, I don't even think about it. I would hope not. Like, I consider myself a very empathetic person. I consider myself a very sympathetic person. Now, I do unknowingly keep kind of a resting bitch face, but as soon as you say something to me, I'm cracking jokes, I'm smiling. Like, I also, we can talk about a personal brand and just authentically who I am. Like, I'm someone that always wants to make people feel safe. I never want to exclude someone from a situation. So I'm never anybody. I don't care who you are. And that was also taught to me by my parents. You treat the janitor with the same respect and love that you treat the CEO.
Yeah.
So I would hope that maybe my resting bitch face kind of wars people off, but I would hope that if they kind of watch me move around and interact with people, like I'm cool. Like I'm down to earth. Like I try to learn from everybody around. I would never, and people are crazy. You can't be, I'm not rude to people because you never know what they're going to come out of their pocket with. So I hope that I'm not intimidating to other people. I hope that I give approachable. Yeah. But I honestly, I never thought about it because I think I'm so cool. Like I was like,
Yeah. I think you dope. I think you dope.
Yeah,
This
that's
one
that
last.
Libra energy right there. That's that Libra
hello, like
energy.
exactly. It's like, bro, like
Speaking of
I'm
that, right?
intimidated. Yeah, I know you ain't scared of me. Like,
There it
but
is.
I will say this: in corporate America, they will eat you. You do. I don't know if it's necessarily a space to show weakness. I'll say that.
Yep.
So I can see me being in mode, being in and that being intimidating to people, obviously, because like when you're in a position to make decisions, you have to make decisions and you
Yep.
have to call shots and you can't, you don't have time to kind of like play around. So you have to be assertive. So I can see that being intimidating to people sometimes.
That's what's up. So one last thing, and DC, you know about this. It's all over the internet. There's always these themes, these memes that come up over like hood names, men that cheat, red flag. Daryl, we gave Daryl, DC, gave Daryl, he's like, Daryl, you a hood name, bro. We can't trust you, bro. Came up. But there's been a lately trend. And
What are you talking about? Wait, hold up. What
you
do you
never seen
mean
those
my name
trends?
can't be
You never
trusted?
seen those trends? It's be like, yo, like thought baby dads. And it'd be like Daryl. Terrell.
Yo, I ain't never
Oh,
heard
the
Daryl
name.
being a thought
Yeah,
baby
you never
dad
seen those
name.
names? So you ever seen those
Yeah.
names? There's those names that people come up, they be like, these are thought dads or thought
Yeah.
men
And it's just
names,
And
the
you
right?
saying Daryl is a name.
Daryl's on their list, bro. I'm
I
on
need
that
to see
list.
this. I'm calling cap
And
on this one.
yeah, I'll
I
send it to
need
you.
I need to see this.
It's on the internet. It's on that list.
That sound like some T making up, man.
A
T
previous
like to
guest we
hate.
had,
he's not making that up.
I'm not making it up. And then shout out, we had a few months back our homeboy Quan Q. He was on the guest. He's a producer. He made that list too. I made that list. You made that list, DC. But there's a red flag. Don't trust her if her name Nicole Marie.
That's some bullshit.
How you feeling about that?
I'm like, what? Like, it's just, and then they had to give me doubly with the Nicole and the Marie. It's like, I feel like someone that didn't like me personally,
Went
someone I had
on social
harmed
media.
in my past, put their minds, but no.
So yeah. So there's that craze now. If her name's Nicole Marie.
They just
It's
picked
a
names.
red flag.
They just picked names. That's why I feel like somebody that didn't fuck with me personally was like to disparage her. Like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But that is hilarious though, because everybody kept sending that to me. I'm like, dude, you must have like you were waiting on this moment. Like that's what I kind of
I'm
felt
not gonna
like.
lie.
Like you,
I saw it, and I was gonna go post it on your page, and then like 7 people already had posted on
yeah,
your
I was
page.
like,
So I was
y'all,
like,
y'all was waiting
I'm gonna
upon
take a step back because I did ask this young lady to be a guest on the show, so I'm not gonna
these people
burn the
were
bridge.
waiting to be validated. These people either felt a way about me and was just waiting to be validated. That's what I'm like. What did I do to y'all?
Yeah,
I didn't do
yeah,
nothing.
that's what's up. And last thing before you go, and we like to always ask our guests this, especially in the world of business, their own business, corporate world, building their own brand. There's another Nicole writing, looking to be a marketing genius. We talk about that next gen. They're got their phones out. They're on Snapchat. They on IG. They on TikTok. They're doing their thing. What advice would you give that young person to elevate what you've already created?
Get on YouTube. I spent I spent a lot of time, and I know I'm not against going to college. I think college is an awesome experience, just in a growth and maturation type level. But a lot of the things that I spent $150,000 to learn and acquire could have been learned on YouTube or could have been
Mm,
learned via real time experience or internships or partnering with a mentor. But me being me, I had to learn. Like I said, I'm an information person, so I had to learn as much as I could from the highest institution or from whatever institution. Da, 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 da. So it delayed my opportunity to execute. And even now, sometimes I find myself kind of getting stuck in this information paralysis. And before I know, I've learned all these things and I haven't executed. So I think it's use the resources that are free to you right now because there's a wealth of information on YouTube, on Udemy, on Coursera, on Khan Academy, shit on Instagram. Um, and start to execute. Learn something, execute it. Learn something, execute it. Don't wait until you've acquired all this information because your turnaround and the information that you acquired will be old. So whatever you have, whatever you know now, build upon it ASAP. Even if it's rudimentary, even if you think it looks terrible, even if it only got 3 likes, just continue to work on your craft. Continue to put it out into the world and find a mentor, find a Nicole Roland. I'm like I said, I'm 40 and I have a mentor that is constantly pouring back into me. So I think it's that
yeah,
it's utilize the resources that you have around you, execute on the things that you know and on the things that you're learning, put yourself out there and find a mentor or find a community that is going to help you grow and that is going to push you to grow.
that's what's up.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
gotta have a coach. Yeah, you
Gotta
gotta
have a
have a
coach,
coach. You know,
gotta have
the
somebody.
people at the top, the most successful people, they have coaches,
Yeah.
multiple
Kanye be
coaches
a
usually.
mentor.
Yeah. I mean, nah, that's bars right there. And I would say, to add to that for people listening, man, as we release the show, like, man, don't be afraid to ask for help. Cause I think that's the
Absolutely.
thing. Pride get in front of you. Pride get in front of you. And you gotta seek out those mentors, man. Just ask for help. That free game is crazy. It's crazy. So, DC, you good? You got anything? I see you researching those names.
Bro, I ain't seen none.
Like,
Look,
what
I
a list
was
your
researching.
mom
I'm calling
is.
caps on that, man. T like to
Bro,
come on the
she
show and just hate on your boy for no reason. You know what I'm
bro, it's
saying? So
because
I'm
I love you,
thinking
bro.
that is definitely fake news, man. This
It's
man coming
not.
with some
She
fake
just told
news.
you. She just told you that's
I
real.
ain't seen none of this on the internet. This T over here
It
making
is out
stuff up,
here, bro. That is a
trying to throw
living.
smut on my name. You know what
That
I'm
is,
saying?
bro. You my dog, bro. Like it's a living thing, bro. I said We made the list. It wasn't a good list, but
They
we
literally
made
just
it.
pick right. It'd be people that be
Hey,
so hurt on the inside. Like they be like, who do I hate?
hey, yep.
Look, I gotta research anything T say, man. He be saying some questionable stuff, man. I
Y'all ain't
gotta
gonna let
double
that
check and
Larry.
triple check.
Y'all
I
ain't gonna
gotta
let that
triple
Larry
check if it
Brown
came from
go.
T. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
You
AI
ain't
has
gonna let
made
that
the
Larry
world a
Brown
different
go.
place.
Yeah. They so he and Rod before we go, they crucify me all the time because we had an argument about who's the greatest coach of all time. For me, it's Larry Brown.
Who's the greatest coach of all time?
Yeah, basketball. We talk basketball. So I was saying Larry Brown. Larry Brown. For me,
And what you say, DC?
you said
I
Pop.
don't even remember. I probably said either Pop or Phil, one of the two. But it ain't even that. T just be saying questionable stuff. So I gotta be like, yo, what? T just be throwing shit out there sometimes, man. So I'm like, yo, I gotta make sure. I gotta
Man, you
make
go ahead,
that
bro.
was probably one of the most notable. I don't know. I don't really keep score like that. But
But
no,
he
I'm good,
does.
bro.
But before we go, as always, I know Rod shout out early a little bit, but he always like to leave words of inspiration, a quote from people listening, our guests, including ourselves. I dug a quote up and you mentioned her, Karen Civil. And she says, "Don't let the insecurities of others dull your sparkle. Shine like the star you are born to be."
All right.
That's
And
true.
that's it right there. That's it. But
Thank
yeah,
you
thank
guys.
you. No, thank you for sitting with us, kicking it with us, joining us. Continue to be dope. Continue to inspire yourself. Look to take some time off. All that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? You definitely earned it. You earned it.
Thank you guys. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are
Yeah.
awesome.
Yep. Yep. Appreciate you coming on the show, Nicole.
And so, but as always, before we wrap, man, you know, when I introduce the boy Rod, he always like to say, "What up, doe?" with those great 3 words. I always like to end the show with 3 words. Cue the music.